Hi, I'm Jonathan Metter, and we're here in PIKO America's service department with something nifty and new for our HO scale fans. Our Whitcomb diesels have been on the market for a little while now, and we've just received two new paint schemes, and I think both of those are going to be meeting the requests of many fans. First up is an Undec Loco, and this actually comes with a number of small parts in a little parts bag so that you don't have to struggle with removing them. Little marker lamps and the handrails are packaged separately, so it's ready for you to do your decoration work. The Whitcombs went to so many little short lines and industrial railroads, we could never possibly do all of those paint schemes. So I think a lot of folks are going to want to do their own, and that's been very much requested. And the next up is Atlantic Coastline, which acquired two Whitcombs that they numbered 70 and 71 from the Franklin in Carolina, a little short line in Carolina. But those locos actually drifted around the ACL, spent some time in Georgia and who knows where else. And although the paint schemes are similar, they're not identical. And that's backed up by color photos from the period. Different color handrails. Number 71 here has no road number on the sides, and it has the big ACL initials on the sides of the cab. Number 70 has the smaller Atlantic Coastline road name and the road number 70 on the cab, besides the differences in the handrails and some other little subtle things. So we've modeled both of those, and all of these locos are available in either non-sound straight DC or in our DCC sound versions with the PIKO 5.1 smart decoder sound version. And let's show you a few of those features on number 70 here. First thing would be to get the lights going, and this has reversing headlights and the lighted marker lamps. Depending on the direction, they change from red to green. Those things are tiny and very much scale sized, and that's a cool feature. And we'll get the sound going. When you first press the sound, you get the sound of one Beta diesel motor starting up, and you can work through our button number 8 works a little differently than a lot of folks may be used to. It just works through the steps of starting up the diesel, and then starting up the second one. And those two will kind of go in and out of sequence with each other. And the only thing better than those two motors in one loco is 4 motors in 2 locos. If they go in and out of sequence with each other. We've got a nice bell. That's a mechanical ringer bell, and the bell is located right on the deck in front of the cab. And the horn is playable, so you can blow just a short blast, or you can give it as long a blast as you'd like. So you can play your crossing signal with 2 longs and a short and a long. And a nice feature, we've done a lot of work on the decoder in the new versions to make them more what American customers are expecting. They include manual notching, so we can rev up those diesel motors, and a lot of people like to do that as they're pulling a heavy train out of the station or something from a stop. And you can manually slow them down back to an idle. And there are quite a few functions on this loco. And like with any new toy, you may need to actually get out the instructions and consult the nice list of the functions until you get familiar with it. But it follows standard North American accepted practices as far as function, arrangement, and order. So there's lots of cool sounds. We'll let you play with all those for yourself, but it's a great running Loco in any version and has great sound. And if you turn the sound off, you'll hear the sound of silence. That PIKO mechanism is incredible. It's super quiet. When one online reviewer reviewed the Whitcomb a while back, he actually, his electronic speed measuring device could not measure how slow that Loco was running as it crept from tie to tie. So that makes it a great little Loco for switching around your layout. And with their hefty weight, these are also great Locos for pulling long trains around your layout. I think you're going to have a lot of fun with our new Whitcombs. Hi, I'm Jonathan Metter, and we're here in PIKO America's service department with a sneak peek at an upcoming model for our HO fans. And we don't usually do this. Very, very rarely we show off a pre-production sample. This is not done. Lots of little details and even some big details are still being worked on. We're not going to let this model out till it's 100% unbelievably beautiful. So, but it's coming along, and we really wanted to show that off to you. So many people, the first comment I read on the internet was, wow. And so many people have said, wow, I've been waiting for years for a model of this. It's the Krauss-Maffei ML4000 Diesel Hydraulic. It was only owned by the Denver and Rio Grande and the Southern Pacific. And each of them had 3 initially. They were delivered in 1961. And it was an experiment and an effort by Krauss-Maffei in Germany to break into the American diesel locomotive market. And it was a desire of the U.S. railroads to eliminate that pesky maintenance of traction motors and electrical control gear and all that complicated stuff that was very maintenance intensive. The diesel hydraulic version was very well proven in Germany. And at the time, you have to think back to 1961, 1960 when this was in development. To think of a diesel locomotive with 4,000 horsepower in one unit was pretty amazing. It was not the horsepower race of the mid to late 1960s. 4,000 horsepower didn't become commonplace until way after that, even though it's now the standard. But so this was really way ahead of its time for the era. So first coming is the Southern Pacific version as delivered, as they came off the boat in Houston. SP put them right to work and really pushed them to the limits for the next few years to see what they could do. And the Krauss-Maffei engineers who were sent over to America may have thought at times that the Southern Pacific was really trying to destroy the locomotives with all the things that they did to them. They really wanted to see how much these locos could stand and what they would do in tough service. So I think you're also going to be impressed that PIKO has put a lot of effort into making this a model that stands up against every other model on the HO market. There are incredible details, the free spinning fans, the detail of the underside of the trucks with the gearboxes, even in that. You haven't seen that on an HO model. So many little metal parts. There are over 80 metal parts from all the handrails that you can see, and the cab sunshades and the little walkways and the grills for the fans, and a ton of a little signature Krauss-Maffei detail, which is little lifting hooks. I have to put my finger on it to feel it. Those little lifting hooks were for removing the whole segment of the body shell for service. And we captured all of those little details. It's an incredible amount of work. I think you're going to be just blown away by the detail in this model. Be patient. It's coming. Just a couple months more to go, and you're going to be impressed.